Hello, welcome to Popalong RC, the RC car channel dedicated to RC car racing, and we are coming to the end of the indoor season, and it was time for me to pop back down to MK for what ended up being one of the closest races I've had all winter. So I was running the TT01 today, and I am chasing down Emma on the track. Now Emma's running her TT02, and we'll take a little look at that car a little bit later on. But this battle on track was really good. It took me a little while just to sort of get my eye in on the first few laps, but I've raced against Emma many times over the years. In fact, I raced Emma in my first ever race. She was just a nipper back then over at Leighton Buzzard, and we were running in a mini class back then, and she actually beat me on that occasion. And before Leighton Buzzard moved from their old place to their new school, she actually beat me in the last ever race at Brooklands. So we've had a few good races over the years. Anyway, we have got Emma in the blue Subaru, and I am close behind in my yellow Beatties shell. In terms of race pace, I think I was the quicker car, but I just could not get the move done. Now, I said to myself before this run that I wanted to get past clean. I didn't want to be bullying my way past. I was going to take my time, I was going to be patient, I was going to wait for Emma to make a mistake, leave the door open for me to sort of slide through and take over the top spots. But Emma doesn't tend to make mistakes. Very clean, very consistent. Again, maybe back markers might have an impact on our progress, but the gap is staying pretty consistent. Again, that back marker maybe held her up a little bit, which allowed me to get even closer to the back of her Subaru. This is the closest I've been actually coming out onto the straight, but I cannot capitalise on it. Now, this is the area of the track where I feel most confident, and as we head up into this end of the track, this is where I was just struggling to keep it nice and tight. So down the straight, we're pretty evenly matched, and this is where we'll keep trying to get up the inside through these two little sections, but unfortunately every time I do, the door is slammed shut. So a little bit closer this time, I go nice and tight. I try to go wide to cut back, but there is no space there. Door slams shut, and I'm still in second place. So as I say, a little bit of a contact there. We were just travelling at different speeds, but I waited because, as I say, I wanted to try and make this as clean as possible, make it an honest pass. I didn't want to just smash straight up the inside. But when you're driving this close to someone for this long, there might be the occasional tap, and I tried to keep it super clean. Again, there's a little dive up the inside, but I couldn't quite make it happen, so I just checked out. Again, another little tap there. There's just not quite enough space to get through on the inside. I reckon on that last one I could have actually bullied my way through a little bit more than I did. Nice and tight again, but I had to check out because Emma's got track position on me. Again, another little dive. I'm starting to put some serious pressure on now, and again I'm going to try and sneak up the inside, but the door is shut as the apex, as we reach the apex, the door just closes on me. So I need to be right alongside for this to happen. So again, I'm going to try and slide up the inside, not quite getting away with it. Back markers got out the way for us there, nicely done. More pressure, again trying to keep it nice and tight. I think that is my option, is going up the inside on one of these turns. So I've just got to wait for Emma to go a little bit wide. There's a chance she's gone wide here. I'm up the inside. Now, can I hold it on till the end of the race? Now it's me out in front, and Emma has the option of putting the pressure on from behind, but I think, as I said earlier on, I was the slightly faster car on the day, so therefore now I've got the clean track. I could just slowly stretch out the lead. It's not going to be massive by the end of this race, but there's definitely that little bit of pace there, which has allowed me just a little bit of a safety blanket, almost a little bit of a cushion, where I can now just get into my rhythm, coast around and keep it nice and safe. But there we go. That is the last sort of 30 seconds now of the race. Super close on the track. Absolutely great fun. Always great fun when I run my TTO ones. An absolute pleasure to race at the MK Club today. So let's take a look at Emma's car. She is running the TTO2, and as you can see, this car has got a little bit of bling on it. Plenty of racing hop-ups for the TTO2, and it does look absolutely stunning. Running the little shorty packs there and a Core 21 motor. I like the way that she put the fan in the car like that, whereas I've mounted mine quite high up in the TTO1. That wasn't the only race I had today. I was also driving the F104. This is the Tamiya F1 car, which I have been running over the last few weeks. However, if you're a regular to the channel, you will know that I was having issues with it a few weeks back, and I managed to damage the rear spur gear, which needed replacing. So let's rewind the clock and have a look at how you can change the spur gear in a Tamiya F104 Pro. Okay, so here is my F104, and this is the issue that I've been having. So over here you can see we have got a 64 DP spur gear, which is well and truly chewed up. So I personally would prefer to be running 48 DP. So therefore what I've done, so I've ordered myself a new spur gear for this car. Now, I did a little bit of research online, had a chat on some of the forums, and I was advised that I can run these spur gears. However, you will need to purchase, let me just find it, it's over here, one of these. And this is a spur gear adapter for the F104. And it is simply a little ring like that. So I have sourced one of these, which I am now going to fit to the spur gear and get it put in the car. Now, the reason I want to go with 48 DP is because that's what I run in pretty much all my other cars. Therefore, I've got plenty of spur gears, sorry, pinion gears, that can fit with this car. So let's get underway. Two bearings that come out off of either side of the spur gear. I'm just going to pop these balls out next. So the spacer just sits there on the inside of the gear, and it drops down, so now it's at the same height as the pinion. And then what we do is we place that part back on top, and now it's a case of just bolting it all back in. So how did the car actually do on the track? It was running okay. The footage you can see here was from early on in the day, before any additives have been put down on the track. So this is just open practice where I got to run the car up against whoever was on the track. But it wasn't just me that was running the car today. I let AJ have his first go at the F1 car. It's very different to anything he's driven before, because say he's only ever really driven the four-wheel drive Banzais and the Tamiya TT01. So getting this F1 car round, I think he did a great job. Obviously, I told him to just take it easy and don't push too hard, but he did a great job. In terms of competition for this car, at the moment, there's a couple of F1 cars at the club now. So hopefully, when everyone starts to go outside for the buggy racing and outside competitions, there might be a little bit of extra time on the track where we can have our own F1 heat.